you're probably going over the top. You want to step back because you've got to pick her up, and you can't let Randy roll back inside you. So if you step back off of that screen, we should be okay.
Definitely. I mean, it's tough when you get far and you know you're good during the season and you try your hardest and not make it, but we're going to try as hard as we can this year. So, I mean, me and Hillary Bates are the seniors now, and Lindsay is a junior, and we're all returning, and I think we'll do good and help out with the rest of the girls that are coming up this year. Yeah, it'll definitely be that way. I mean, we have Sarah Scarborough, and she's over 6 foot tall, so she should get a lot of points on the boards, and I think we're all capable of getting a few points again, because it gives us more size advantage over them, even if they are just as tall. So I think we're just gonna try to do our best out there and hopefully win as many games, but if not, just try to do just as good.
I tried to expand my knowledge onto the other girls and try to help them through, because they're a young team and they're not used to experience, so I help them as much as I can. That hurt a lot to come up short, but it's a new team, new year, try to start over new. Well, yeah, we actually have more forwards than guards, so guards are going to be a big part, and they're going to be playing a lot more and not as many subs, but it's definitely they're going to be one of the key points of our team, and we got both of them, forwards and guards, are going to be a big part. It's a great feeling, because we can show them that we do compete with everybody, and we're just as good as them. So I think we're going to talk about getting the division title. That's what we're trying to go at, and at least compete for it.
Lindsay's going to force up the sideline. You just stay in that triangle. All right, you're the point. So there's the ball, there's your girl. As long as you can look straight ahead and see goals, you're fine. If you can't, take a step back. I don't think it's a lot of pressure, because it is a lot of different kids this year. I think the kids that were on that team last year, they like the idea that now they're in more of a starring role and have the opportunity to kind of keep going what we've done over the last couple of years, which is good. And I think the younger kids that were on the JVs last year, want to keep it going. They don't want to be the group that kind of falls back. So I think they're encouraged. I think they see it as a pretty good opportunity for themselves, as opposed to feeling like the weight of the world's on their shoulders, which is good. They're coming in and working hard, and that's all we want. So I think the big thing, those kids were extremely talented. There's no doubt about it. But I think with that is experience. I lost 4 kids. 3 of them were 3-year starters, and one of them was a 2-year starter who filled a role last year. Played off the bench a little bit. So you lose just a lot of experience. So I think these kids are very talented. It's just a matter of being in game situations and seeing different things. Whereas those kids last year had been through a lot. They'd been in some big games and some tournament final games and all those types of things. But these kids haven't been through a lot of that. So I think as we open up next week in Geneseo tournament with two good games there, and as they get experience, I think they'll just get better. I think they're talented. They just have to be on the court and experience those situations. So Danny, Sage, Hill Bates, 2 kids who started JVs as 7th graders. So they've been in our program 6 years. Great kids, hard workers. Both cases are 3-sport athletes. They're committed to being as good as they can be, no matter what they're doing, and just real coachable kids. And Lindsay Chad is the one junior that's back, same type of kid. They've been, all 3 of those kids played on the softball team last year. Last 2 years, sectional titles, so they know what it is to be successful and win sectional title and league titles. So, great leaders there. All 3 of them are lead by example types of kids. They're not real vocal, any of them, but they are stepping into that role a little bit more, because they know they've got some experience, but they just kind of go out and lead by example. Come to practice every day, work real hard, and the younger kids are kind of feeding off of that. So you couldn't ask for better leadership coming back with those 3 kids, that's for sure. Certainly a different type of team we had in the last couple of years. Years and years and years we had good-sized post players year after year after year. In the last couple of years we haven't had a lot of size, so we had to do some things different. This year, we've got some more size, so it's going to change around some things that we want to do. and still utilize the good guards that we have and the athleticism that we have. But yeah, it's a different group of kids, no doubt about it. It's a different makeup of the team, and it's good. It's one that I think we can utilize and have fun with and be successful with. There's no doubt. I think it's very competitive. I think some of the teams that have struggled over the last few years, I think, are much better. Their JV programs have been very good, and I think you'll see them get better. And obviously the same old. Notre Dame's and the Elvis will be very good. But I think a lot of teams, I think Alexander will be very athletic. They were very good last year. They got better as the season went along. Pembroke's always been good. Bergen. So I think that you're right. I don't think it's necessarily a top heavy, but I think that you're going to have a lot of teams that are in the mix, and it's one of those things that any given night, you're going to have to be ready to play. It's not going to be, well, you see so and so on the schedule and you just mark it up to W. It's not going to be that way. Nobody's going to have that this year. So that makes for a better league, I think, too.